the invisible forces that secretly run your life. Ever caught yourself mindlessly reaching for your phone the moment, and I mean the very millisecond, you feel even a hint of boredom creeping in? Or how about this one? You walk into the kitchen and completely forget why you're there. Then remember the second you sit back down. Don't worry, you're not losing your mind. You're just being human, and your brain is playing its favorite games with you. Welcome to the hidden world of cognitive biases and mental shortcuts, the invisible forces that secretly run your life. I'm not being dramatic here. These unconscious patterns influence everything from what you had for breakfast this morning to which political candidate you'll vote for. And the wildest part? You probably have no idea they're even happening. Let's start with a simple question. Do you think you're an above-average driver? Go ahead, be honest. If you said yes, congratulations. You just experienced the illusory superiority bias, where roughly 90% of drivers rate themselves as above average. Mathematically impossible? Absolutely. But our brains don't care about math when our egos are at stake. Or how about this one? Have you ever bought something just because it was on sale, even though you had zero intention of buying it before seeing that magical discount percentage? That's the scarcity bias at work, making you think something is more valuable just because it might not be available later. Retailers aren't just guessing when they use limited time offer. They know exactly which psychological buttons they're pushing. Now, I could stand here and lecture you about cognitive psychology like some dusty professor, but instead, let's play a game. I want you to remember these 5 words. Monkey, piano, elephant, basketball, sunshine. Got them? We'll come back to this later, I promise. Our brains evolved over millions of years with one primary goal: keep us alive. Not make us happy, not help us find our purpose, not ensure we pick the perfect Netflix show, just survival. And in the wild, survival means making quick decisions. Is it a stick or a snake? Better assume it's a snake and jump back, because if you're wrong about the stick, no big deal. But if you're wrong about the snake, well, you might not get a second chance to update your belief system. This survival instinct gave us mental shortcuts called heuristics. They're like the brain's version of fast food. Not always the healthiest option, but quick and satisfying in the moment. And just like fast food, they can lead to some pretty questionable decisions when overused. Take the anchoring bias. The first number you hear in a negotiation will disproportionately influence the final outcome. This is why car salespeople start with an absurdly high price, or why job candidates who ask for slightly more than the market rate tend to get higher offers. Your brain latches onto that first number like a koala to its favorite eucalyptus tree. But here's where it gets really interesting and slightly terrifying. These biases don't just affect small decisions like what to buy or how to negotiate. They shape how you see the entire world. Have you noticed how people seem to get more polarized about politics, religion, or even whether pineapple belongs on pizza? That's confirmation bias. Our brain's tendency to seek out information that confirms what we already believe and ignore everything else. It's like having a personal assistant whose only job is to tell you you're right all day long. Sounds nice until you realize everyone else has the same assistant, just programmed differently. Social media algorithms have figured this out, by the way. They feed you more of what you already engage with, creating these perfect little echo chambers where your worldview is constantly validated. It feels good, doesn't it? To be right all the time? To have your feed filled with people who think just like you? That's by design, and it's rewiring your brain one like share and comment at a time. Okay, remember those 5 words I asked you to memorize earlier? Quick, what were they? If you're like most people, you probably remembered monkey and elephant easily, maybe sunshine. That's because our brains are biased toward remembering things at the beginning, primacy effect, and end, recency effect, of a list. The items in the middle? They're like the middle children of memory, often forgotten. But wait, I actually gave you different words, didn't I? I never said sunshine. I said guitar. Or was it pencil? See how easily your memory can be manipulated? This is called the misinformation effect, and it's why eyewitness testimony is notoriously unreliable. Our memories aren't video recordings. They're more like Wikipedia pages that anyone can edit. These mental shortcuts made perfect sense when we were running from predators on the savannah. But in our modern world, they're like using a stone axe to perform brain surgery. Messy and not particularly effective. Let's talk about the sunk cost fallacy, which is basically your brain saying, we've already invested so much time /money/energy in this. We can't quit now. It's why you finish watching terrible movies, stay in dead-end relationships, or keep throwing good money after bad investments. Your rational mind knows you should cut your losses, but your brain hates admitting defeat more than it hates wasting additional resources. Or how about loss aversion? Studies show that the pain of losing $100 is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining $100. This asymmetry leads to all sorts of fascinating behaviors. It's why free return policies boost online sales so dramatically. They remove the risk of loss. It's also why negative political ads work so well. They trigger your fear of losing what you already have. Now here's a fun one, the IKEA effect. Ever notice how that wobbly bookshelf you assembled yourself seems way more valuable than a professionally built one? That's because we place higher value on things we help create. This is why Betty Crocker famously added, "Just add an egg," to their cake mix instructions in the 1950s. Sales skyrocketed because people felt like they were actually baking, not just using a mix. Speaking of food, here's one that might explain your midnight snack habits: the planning fallacy. We consistently underestimate how long things will take and overestimate our future willpower. Future me will definitely have the discipline to avoid those cookies in the pantry, right? Future me will definitely wake up at 5 a.m. to exercise. Future me sounds amazing. Too bad they rarely show up. If you're feeling attacked right now, good. That means you're recognizing these patterns in yourself. The first step to outsmarting these cognitive biases is acknowledging they exist. You can't debug a program you don't know is running. So how do we fight back against these invisible forces? First, slow down. Most biases thrive when we're making quick decisions. Second, seek out opposing viewpoints, not to argue, but to understand. Third, develop the habit of asking, what evidence would change my mind about this? If your answer is nothing, that's a red flag that bias has taken the wheel. But perhaps the most powerful antidote is simply awareness. Knowing these biases exist won't make them disappear, but it will give you a fighting chance at catching them in action. It's like having X-ray glasses that let you see the hidden machinery behind your thoughts. And here's something truly fascinating. Even experts in cognitive psychology fall prey to these biases. Knowledge doesn't make you immune. It just makes you slightly better at damage control. These mental shortcuts are so deeply embedded in our neurology that we can never fully escape them. The best we can do is become friendly with our biased brains and gently guide them toward better decisions. Think about it like this. Your brain is like a smartphone running an ancient operating system. It's trying its best with the hardware and software it has, but it wasn't designed for the modern information environment. So instead of getting frustrated when it glitches, take a moment to appreciate the miracle that it works at all. There's something humbling about recognizing how much of our thinking happens below the surface of awareness. We like to imagine ourselves as perfectly rational beings, captains of our own ships, deliberate in our choices. The truth is messy, but also more marvelous. We're walking bundles of contradictions, simultaneously brilliant and foolish, logical and emotional. So the next time you find yourself absolutely certain about something, pause. Ask yourself, is this really true, or does it just feel true? The next time you make a decision that seems obvious, wonder, what invisible forces might be guiding this choice? The next time you judge someone else's seemingly irrational behavior, consider, what biases might I be blind to in myself? Your brain will continue playing these tricks on you. That's a given. But now you'll at least be in on the joke. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start making slightly better decisions, seeing the world a little more clearly, and understanding both yourself and others with a bit more compassion. So, what invisible forces are secretly running your life today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed having your brain dissected, hit that subscribe button for more uncomfortable truths delivered with a smile. Until next time, happy thinking, or at least slightly more aware thinking.